Welcome to our podcast, Inspiring Living, with me, Mark Candelaria. I am an architect, blogger, traveler, chef, father, and husband. I'm the founder and now a partner of a fabulous 25-person architecture firm specializing in high-end residential architecture, designing amazing homes across the country. We have hosted tours to Italy, Spain, and now Napa over the last 20 years, and in the course of all this, I have met a lot of interesting people who truly inspire me. Our podcast is about all the opportunities that are right there in front of us to inspiring living. Yes, we will talk about architecture and design, but every week we will venture into all sorts of topics that will inspire you, teach you, and motivate you to inspire living every day. My guests will include a wide gamut of amazing people, from those in the design industry to clients to real estate professionals, chefs, artists, sports figures, and philanthropists, and people who just flat out get it. Sit back and enjoy, and let's have some fun exploring all the opportunities that are there just waiting for us. Please subscribe and get ready to be inspired every week. Okay, as my dad says, here we go. Wow, what a busy month. I don't know about you guys, but it's crazy out there. But anyway, a couple of quick things. We want to thank Phoenix Home and Garden Magazine for our feature, Sleeping Beauty, in this month's issue, Art and Artists. Fantastic project. We actually did this nearly 20 years ago, and it's finally getting some recognition. I want to say great job to my partner, Vivian Ayala, who was a project manager at the time, and GM Hunt, who did a fantastic job constructing the home, and Bergup Design for their work on the gardens and landscape. Finally, thanks to photographer Julianne McKay at Pearl Blossom Photography for her stunning pictures of this project. I encourage you to pick up a copy today. Because Inspiring Living is all about the people and the organizations that inspire us, we are excited to have Monogram Appliances as one of our sponsors. Anytime we do a new kitchen or a kitchen remodel, Monogram Appliances are what we recommend to our client. Their appliances are the definition of luxury, meticulously detailed using the finest materials and an ownership experience that is second to none. This is how Monogram is always thinking ahead and inspiring and elevating the kitchen experience. Because at Monogram, they don't just elevate one thing, they elevate everything. Okay, I always start my intro with, this is what my dad would say, here we go. And guess who I've got on my podcast today?
Here we go.
I got my dad.
Here we go.
We've got him right here. 85 years old this weekend. What do you think of that?
Getting older every day.
Well, every day. But like I said this morning, is today is the smartest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be. Right?
I like it.
Yeah, it works, right? That works. So let's see. So 85. Did you ever think you'd make it to 85? You said you and Anthony, your childhood friend, you guys used to talk about being 100 someday.
That was our wish.
Yeah?
That was our wish.
You wanted to be 100 years old. So you still got 15 years to go.
That's all.
That's all, though, right?
And Anthony only has 14.
He only has 14. His birthday's coming up when?
The 4th.
The 4th of February.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let's go back, Dad. You were born in Durango, Colorado on January 31st, 1935.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so I've got a lot of questions because I don't know if I've even asked you any of these things. But so when you were born in Durango, who obviously Grandma was your mom. We got that part right. When you were born, did you guys live in the same house that you guys always lived in? Or where were you living then? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
I don't remember.
So the only house you remember is the house I remember.
That's right.
Grandma and Grandpa's house.
250 3rd Avenue.
250 East 3rd Avenue.
Yeah.
And it was you, and you were the second oldest.
Yeah.
Your your sister Virgie's the oldest.
Yeah.
And you were the second oldest. And then you had one more brother and 3 more sisters. So there was 6 of you total.
That's
all
right.
in that 3-bedroom house.
That's right.
Okay, so where did you guys sleep? You and Uncle Mickey slept where? Do you remember? Downstairs, upstairs?
Upstairs, I think.
Did you?
I'm not 100% sure.
No, there was 4 girls. I was figuring the 4 girls probably
Yeah.
slept upstairs, and you and Uncle Mickey probably slept down by the bathroom somewhere. You don't remember.
I don't remember.
But you lived in that house for most of your childhood years.
My childhood went to the Army.
Yeah. And then Jacob used to live next door.
Jacob lived next door.
And the Mahaffey's lived.
lived south of us.
Right. And we're still in touch with Eileen
Brown.
Haffey. Yeah.
That's right.
She's still on Facebook, and she posts all the time.
That's right.
I call her E. Rose Brown. I think that's her handle on
right. Yeah,
Instagram.
That's right.
So those are the old Durango days. So Grandma's house was up on a hill on the end of 3rd Avenue. It would overlook the train tracks below.
That's right.
And that's where Grandpa Bernie worked.
That's where he worked.
Right?
That's right.
Down in the roundhouse.
Yep.
Yep. And his job was to fix the steam locomotives that came into Durango.
That's right.
From all over, from Silverton, from Alamosa. At that time, they came from all over the place.
At one time. Yeah, even Farmington.
Yeah, in Farmington.
Yep.
They even had the chili train.
That's right.
Yep. And
from Telluride.
Yeah, and I think the first nuclear bomb, the uranium was milled, or whatever they call it, right there in Durango.
At the smelter.
Yeah, at the smelter. And the train was what brought it all in.
That's right.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's pretty amazing. And then they hauled that whole mountain off once they discovered how radioactive it all was.
That's true.
I guess that's why you and I are both bald now, huh? I don't know, but at least we're still here. That's the good thing, right?
That's the main thing. That's
yeah,
right.
So in Durango, you went to Durango High School. You went to the old high school, which I had the privilege of going to for 2 of my 4 years. And I got to tell you, I was thinking about this last night. Of the 4 years I went to high school, my favorite 2 were in the old high school. And it was a combination of the old high school and Smiley.
That's right.
But I remember when we first moved back to Durango in 1974, and I would sit up in the windows on the 3rd or 4th floor of Smiley looking over towards the La Platas in October, watching all the autumn leaves turn colors.
That's right.
I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're right.
And, the new high school, there were no windows. It's like, so you got to wonder why the kids turn out the way they do now. But anyway, I sat up there and looked at the beautiful trees. I could hear the train go out in the morning. And it was just one of the most coolest spots to be in. So first of all, I want to thank you for moving us back to Durango, because it was the best thing that ever happened to Jim and I.
I always loved Durango.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Yeah. So when you were growing up, you're in Durango High School. You told me today you loved playing baseball.
I loved playing baseball.
Right?
Yeah.
And now what position did you play? Do you remember?
I played them all.
You played them. Oh, you played all of them.
Except pitcher.
Except pitcher. You were in a pitcher. But what was your favorite position? Shortstop, was it?
Shortstop, yeah.
You were a good shortstop.
Shortstop, left field, right field, center field.
Yeah. And you have a grandson. I have a nephew now who's an amazing baseball player.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
And I got to keep that mic close to your mouth.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So my nephew Trevor is my brother James' son, and he's a good baseball player. He plays outfield and pitcher, right?
That's right. He can play them all.
Yeah, he plays them all just like Grandpa did.
That's right.
And what's cool is when I look at his photos now, he's 19, 20, something like that. And your photos, like from when you were in the Army, that Army photo that I posted the other day, you guys look a lot alike, I think.
I don't think so.
I think you look a lot alike. But
Trevor's so much taller than me. And,
I mean that part.
Looking.
Well, okay, he's definitely taller. That wasn't hard to do though. So Trevor's playing in Davidson in college. He's a great baseball player. I'm going out to Charleston in a couple weeks to go watch him play.
Right.
And you played in Durango High School.
Durango High School.
With all your buddies.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Did you get a scholarship, or did you take baseball further, or what happened?
I went to Fort Lewis College for 4 months.
Okay, 4 months.
And then I decided to go in the Army.
You joined the Army, right?
Yep.
Now, why did you make that decision?
It was time to do something different.
It was time to do something different. You just wanted to get out of Durango, I think.
No,
not so much.
Just wanted to do something different.
Just wanted to do something different. So the Army was the ticket. And then once you joined the Army, how soon did you went to Kansas or something first for training?
Fort Riley, Kansas.
Fort Riley, Kansas. And you had some good buddies in the Army from what I remember.
A lot of good buddies.
Yep. And so you were in training in Fort Riley, Kansas.
Yep.
And you were like I remember the story of this rope that they threw you and to jump and catch it, and you didn't catch it, and you fell all the way to the ground.
Yeah, that's right.
And broke your back or pelvis, or you broke something.
I broke something. I'm not sure what it was, but I had to go to Durango for 10 days or whatever it was.
Huh.
But I signed an agreement that I wanted to come back to the Army.
Wow.
So they said, come back, and then I was able to go to Germany.
And you're able to, so did they tell you were going to Germany right away, or was that part of the deal? Or?
That was part of the deal.
Oh, so you knew you had a chance to go to Germany.
I wanted to go there, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd never been, you'd probably never been outside of Colorado other than Kansas.
Never had.
Right?
Kansas was the furthest I'd ever
Furthest ever been. So on your way to Germany, I know one time you told me a story. You went to Barcelona, And you went to some other places.
I went to Madrid.
Madrid.
I went to Amsterdam.
Wow, that's cool.
I went to Paris.
That's cool.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, so I mean, from a kid from Durango, Colorado, to all of a sudden be in Amsterdam and Paris, that's quite a...
And I went with different guys in the Army every time.
Every different time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So while you were now you were stationed mostly in Germany.
Yeah.
Right?
Schaffenburg. Yeah, to begin with.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while you were in Germany, at some point in Germany, you met Mom.
That wasn't till after I left Schaffenburg.
Okay.
And went to, I can't remember the name of the place now.
Huh.
It was...
That doesn't matter. So you met Mom towards the end.
The last year I was there.
The last year you were there.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you guys meet? Where did you meet at? Do you remember?
You're asking me?
I know. We'll ask Mom. We'll get Mom on the podcast too. But you obviously remember meeting her.
Yeah, we did. And we didn't know each other very well.
Yeah.
I had a first lieutenant in the company.
Yep.
Your mom would write me a letter, and he would translate it for me because I couldn't read German.
Right.
And she couldn't read English.
Right.
Went back and forth that way till I came back to the United States.
Yep. And then once you were back in the United States, you guys still kept writing letters back and forth, right?
But she went to Canada.
Right. She went to Canada as an au pair, as a nanny, and ended up in Calgary.
Right.
Right? But you guys were still communicating by letter. I mean, there wasn't no email or Facebook then.
No.
Yeah.
And she was taking care of 3 little kids.
Yep.
And I would write her a letter, and they would help her translate the letter.
From English to German.
Yeah, and then she would write a letter. But she was writing English then.
Already. Oh, she was already starting to learn it, huh? Yeah. That's pretty cool. So at some point, though, then you convinced her to get on a bus in Calgary and come all the way to Durango.
I told my future wife that my sister Carrie and Chris were getting married.
Oh, okay.
Well, first I told her that my friend Anthony Gomez was getting married in July.
Okay.
And I wondered if she'd like to come and see their wedding.
Okay.
And that my sister Carrie was getting married 2 weeks later and see what would happen.
Yep. So you started with the idea that there are these weddings, and that's why you need to come. Okay. That's a little different than I've been telling the story, but I like that version better. So eventually she decided that, let's do it. Let's hop on a jet and go down to Durango.
She came on a bus.
There were no jets to Durango. Yeah, so she came on a bus. There were hardly any roads to Durango.
She came on a bus. My mother and my sister Leva went to the bus station and picked her up.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was working at the railroad.
Were you working at the railroad? Okay. So they pick up this little German girl that comes off the bus with her little suitcase.
Yeah.
In Durango, Colorado, 1959 is when this was.
1959. 2 weeks before we got married.
That's crazy. I remember as a kid taking the bus from Denver to Durango and what that bus station was like. And, it's small. It's tiny. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So when she came, then she stayed in that same house with your sisters and your brother. I don't know if they were all still there then.
Yeah, they were.
They were all still there then. And so there's little German girls in the house there with you guys. And how soon after she arrived was one of these weddings?
2 weeks later.
Oh, 2 weeks later. So how long was she there in total? Well, she never left.
She never left. No, that's why I talked her into getting married.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to
leave. So during the course of this, you convinced her, well, why the heck, you came all the way down here. Why don't we just get married and make it a double wedding with Aunt Carrie and Uncle Chris, right?
And that's what we did. But then 2 days later, we had to go to Denver so we could get her...
visa or whatever.
Yeah.
Her papers in order.
Papers to become a
U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
So you had to leave 2 days later.
We went to Denver.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So when you went to Denver, did you do the paperwork and then come back to Durango?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I used my dad's car.
Wow. How old were you? You were 24?
No, not even that. That was in 59.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24.
24.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 24. Mom was 19.
Yeah.
So Mom was 19. She's a year older than what Bella is now.
Yeah, I know.
And she's shipping off to Durango. That's just crazy. I just can't believe you guys did that. So then I know the other story I've always heard is the story of your honeymoon. And I don't know if that was right after you guys got married.
That was right after we went to Denver.
Oh, right after you went to Denver. Okay. Yeah. So you were in Denver and you were going to drive to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
From Denver.
And we were going to stay in Santa Fe. Couldn't find a place to stay in Santa Fe, so we went to Chama.
Which is north of Santa Fe, about 2 hours north.
Well, wherever
it's it's quite a ways north.
Yeah.
So that was all in the middle of the night,
That
back
was
in
it.
1959 again.
59 again.
So
yeah.
there's nothing out there. So you guys found a little motel.
A little motel, yeah.
And that was your honeymoon.
That was our honeymoon.
In Chama.
In Chama.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Quite a difference from the day we're having today, isn't it?
Oh, totally different.
We just left the joyous spa.
Let me say one thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened the way it happened.
Oh, well, I'm glad it happened the way it happened too, or I wouldn't even be here.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys spent the night in Chama, and I don't know how long did you stay in Chama?
Just overnight.
Just overnight, and then back to Durango.
Back to Durango.
Yeah, and then you stayed in Durango. I guess you had a little apartment above the jewelry store or something, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you guys how long were you there in Durango then?
Not that long.
Not that long, because I kind of showed up not too much longer after that.
That's right. Yeah.
And you moved back to Denver.
Moved back to Denver. Yeah.
Because you got a job with the Rio Grande in Denver.
I don't think it was immediately.
It wasn't immediately.
No, I think I had a job with it was something like waste management.
Okay.
But it wasn't waste management. That was something else.
In Durango or in Denver?
In Denver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you were able to get on the railroad.
Then I got on the railroad. Yeah.
Because Grandpa worked for the railroad in Durango.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he got on there.
So did my grandpa before him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we're all railroaders. You finally got me on there, which we'll talk about a little later, which I loved, by the way. So you guys got up to Durango. You got with the Rio Grande Railroad, and you trained to become a machinist, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was through apprenticeship, like an apprenticeship program.
It was 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I did paperwork. I sent it to Nebraska, I think is where it
was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Omaha, Nebraska. That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
And so then I showed up about October 1960.
That's right.
And you guys had an apartment. This story is, I think, really cool. Is you guys were in an apartment, an old house or something on Logan.
On Logan.
In Denver, downtown Denver by the Capitol.
1201 Logan.
1201 Logan, okay. So that's where you guys lived. Flashback 50, 60 years ahead, my daughter Tiffany, her boyfriend, Josh, rents the same damn apartment by chance. I mean, he didn't even know Tiffany at the time. Okay, so he rents the apartment, and they meet Josh at your house in Denver.
Yeah.
And they go, well, "Where do you live?" He's like, "Well, I live on Logan." "Oh, we used to live on Logan." "Yeah, we're at 1201. "Well, that's the apartment we used to live in." Now, how crazy is that, right?
I know it, yeah.
So then, flashback forward with that same story, my daughter Tiffany moves to Denver, meets Josh, who's living in that apartment.
Yeah.
Tiff gets her first job, which happens to be the first place Grandma Karen got her first job.
There you go.
The same place.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
I know it.
So yeah, so you guys moved up there. You worked at the railroad. Grandma Karen worked for Madian F, department store, and you guys kind of started a family. Bought a house in North Glen, Colorado.
Yeah.
And that house was so cool. It was, I don't know, three bedroom and a huge basement.
Yeah.
And
unfinished basement.
Unfinished basement. There was only one bathroom upstairs.
That's right.
And there was one bathroom downstairs. That's all there was. But we had a big yard, and then we had this huge field behind our yard. Yeah. And as a kid, first of all, the basement was like infinity. I just thought that basement was like endless. And then the field was even more endless. Like it went forever.
Tootsie.
And then we got our dog, Tootsie, which was the best dog in the world. I think I was 2 years old. I'll post a picture of me and Tootsie and my mom.
Yeah.
That dog we got when she was 2, and I think we had her till I was almost 18.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You manicured that house. Like, that was the most beautiful landscaped property in North Glen.
I think so, too.
Oh, I know it was. I mean, there was, especially if you go back there now, it definitely was. I mean, you took such great care of that house and that lawn. It was beautiful. And you used to throw the ball to our dog Tootsie.
Over the fence.
And she would just clear the whole damn fence. She was like a Australian toy shepherd or something like that.
I'd mow the lawn.
Yeah.
She'd go get the ball, drop it right in front of
the lawnmower. Right in front of you.
I had to stop, pick up the ball, and throw it across.
So that was your routine.
I know.
Right?
The whole time I was cutting the lawn.
That was the whole time you cut the lawn.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you'd convince us to clip. And I remember clipping was like, oh my God, this is an endless job. We didn't have weed eaters back then. And we'd be there with little clippers, like cutting someone's hair.
Right.
Oh my God, that was awful. So we did that. We lived in North Glen. You worked on the railroad. I know you used to carpool with your buddies.
Yeah.
And I remember we'd get up early and we'd all eat breakfast and off you'd go to work. The milkman would bring the Carl's Dairy would bring the milk in the milk box.
Yeah.
and we get fresh milk. And Mom would work. She kind of got into nursing eventually, the ambulance,
Yeah, that's right.
and she worked for Lavran Electric, or I forget the name of it.
I think so, yeah.
One of the companies that are next door neighbors, the Udovitzes,
that's right,
used to own or run. And we became great friends with them. And great friends. We used to have so much fun. They had their basement, and they kind of tricked it out. I remember it seemed like every couple of years they would remodel it. And we would have the whole crew, all his buddies, and you guys would remodel it on a Saturday, and then you guys would fire up the piano and sing songs and end up in the rose bushes or whatever. That's a whole other story. But we used to have lots of fun down there. Lots of fun. Yeah. And I remember those images, of George playing the organ, and that stuck with me. That was something I just always thought was, this is the coolest thing. And to this day, I still love doing that, and what it brings back memories.
Yeah.
So then in 1974, Grandpa Bernie was ready to retire down in Durango, and you decided to take his position.
Bill Griffin went down to be the boss.
Okay.
Him and his wife.
Oh, and you knew him from Denver.
Yeah, Bill Griffin.
Oh,
he's the one that taught me to come to Durango.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So then you guys all went down there.
We all went to Durango, yeah.
Yep. And kind of started running the steam locomotives.
That's right.
So how different was learning that from the diesel locomotives in Denver? Whole new thing?
Totally different.
Yeah. So who taught you? You just figured it out.
Bill Griffin.
Oh, he knew how to do it.
He knew quite a bit already, yeah.
Huh.
And he was like George Udovitz, a wonderful person.
Oh, God, yeah.
And his wife.
Yeah. Bill and Della.
Yeah.
We had so much fun with them. It was virtually like Bill and Della became our new George and Elaine's.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah. And we used to have so much fun with them. And they'd come over and sing, "Old Danny Boy." Remember?
The pipes are calling.
He used to love that.
Yeah.
He used to love when I played for him. So I took over the piano duties, and Bill would sing, and we'd all sing and have a lot of fun in our family room.
Yeah.
And you guys would work on the train. And the deal with the train was it would start like around Memorial Day and run till October or Labor Day or something like that. But there was only 3 locomotives at that time.
That's right.
And
478, 473, and
476.
And 476, you're
right. So those trains, they would run 2 trains a day, so you only had 3. So if one went down, you were down to 2. It's like quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's
right.
And
if you lost that second one, you were screwed. So Dad's job and the crew down there, their job was to keep those damn trains going. And that wasn't easy.
No, I know it.
It wasn't easy because, first of all, these trains were originally built or designed or whatever in the 1886 or something like that. So, you try to find a part for them, and you can't find a part. You have to actually go and make the part.
That's true.
And so you guys would actually have to physically machine the part that you needed.
That's right.
Based on what had broke. And the thing is, you needed it by the next day.
That's true.
It wasn't like
I know it.
You called Amazon and they delivered it to you.
Yeah, there was days when the train would leave.
Yeah.
And we would go play golf.
Yeah.
Come back in the late evening and work till midnight.
Work all night long to get that thing going. Yeah. So you and Bill used to play golf a lot. And that used to be a lot of fun. I used to go with you guys sometimes.
I know it, yeah.
And that used to be a great time. So we did Durango. Then I went to Durango High School and got into drafting. And we were talking about this morning. You gave me your first drafting kit from Fort Lewis, right?
Yeah.
So you took some drafting in Fort Lewis at college?
Yeah, that's what I took.
Yeah. And I remember you teaching me as a kid, like, here's the compass, here's how this works. And I still have it. And obviously, it stuck with me.
That's it. And it stuck with you.
Yeah. So that was a good thing. And then I'm backing up. I remember at one point, 1970, here Mom had been come over as a nanny, had met you, got married. 10 years later, 10 years went by before she finally got to go back to Germany, and you took us all.
Yeah, that's right.
You took us all to Germany in 1970, and we saw Oma and Opa, who was Mom's parents, and Uroma, our great grandmother,
she was still alive.
and our uncle Wolfgang.
Wolfgang and
and we were there for 3 weeks.
I know it. Yeah.
Which back in 1970, that was a big trip.
Was a long trip.
Yeah. So I don't know how you. I don't know if you put that on Visa or did you save for it or how did you do that?
Who knows?
I don't know, but you did it. When I look back at that, I was like, that's impressive because it was me and Jim, Mom and you, and we were there 3 full weeks.
I know it.
And we stayed with them. We didn't stay in a hotel or anything.
No.
But we did a lot. I mean, we went up the Rhine River, and we went to.
We had a wonderful.
We had a great time. Went to Heidelberg. And,
that's right.
And that trip really changed for me. Just seeing all that architecture.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was after that I started drawing those cities because I got that aerial view of the world, and I started just drawing things. And I mean that trip had a big impact. So that was a good investment.
It was,
by the way.
You better believe it.
So anyway, we're jumping around because we're drinking old fashions. We just got an hour.
I'm going to have a zip.
Yeah, have a little zip right here. We just had a great massage at the Joya Spa at Monte Lucia, which, by the way, I had never been there. I've been to all the damn spas. I mean, I design enchantment. That Joya Spa
It was wonderful.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
I can't believe how comfortable I felt after I went.
You look great after that today.
I know it.
I know. I got to get you over there.
I'm still moving good.
Yeah, I think a little spa, a little old fashioned. That's a good winning ticket right there.
Like I told you earlier, you've got to take your mom there.
Yeah, I will. We'll take Mom there too, for sure. Yeah, I think if we can keep that little routine, you're gonna make those 15 years easily. So yeah, the Durango years were a lot of fun, and then the railroad sold. I left high school, went to Boulder. You guys moved to Denver to reclaim your job in Denver, and then the recession came, and I remember you had to go work at Waste Management for a while
because
there was no work.
Couldn't get a job at the railroad at first.
Yeah,
8 months I worked up there on the different job.
Yep. So you did that, and that was machinist work also, right?
Yeah.
So fixing their trucks and stuff like that. And I was in Boulder, and then went to ASU. And then you got back on with the railroad and finally retired, right?
That's right.
What year did you retire? Do you remember? How long ago was it? Maybe 15 years ago? Something like that.
It was, I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember anymore either.
Your mom knows.
No, we'll get all the details when we do Mom's podcast. Yeah. She's got it all like a library. Mm-hmm. But anyway, you retired, and then you guys stayed in Denver for a few more years.
Yeah.
And I was constantly trying to get you guys to move down here to
yeah.
Arizona. And finally you did. In 2015, I think. 2014.
Yeah.
Got you down here, and in the process of looking for a place, you stayed at Alette's house, which is Isabel's
Alaska,
mom.
Remember?
Yeah, she's in Alaska, and so you found a place near her. You guys are only a few blocks away from each other, which is awesome.
About half a mile.
Yeah, about a half a mile, and so you both of you guys live in Maricopa, and it's great to go down there and visit with you, and it's great that Alette is so kind to drive you and Mom up here, so you and I can go to the spa, have an old fashioned or two, and then she drives you back because she doesn't drink. So it's really nice having Alette that doesn't drink. Take care of all of us Candelarias that do drink.
That's right. We don't drink that.
No,
much,
not that much.
But we enjoy our.
We enjoy everything. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, it's been great having you guys down here. I mean, we've had so much fun. Just hanging out with you and. It's just.
I love it, Mark.
Oh, I know.
Really
We've had so much fun. I mean, the last 5 years have been just the best, I think. Don't you?
For sure.
I wish you guys were more mobile and you can. I mean, you're doing as good as you can do, but it would be great if we could take you to Spain or take you on the Italy tour. But we missed that window.
We can't do that.
No. But you did make it. You did make it to Africa.
Yeah, I know it.
And saw my brother Jim, who was working with the U.S. government down in. What's the name of the country down there?
Zambia, wasn't it?
Zambia.
Yeah, Zambia.
That's it. Yeah. See, your memory's better than mine. So don't give me this memory shit.
Something.
Don't give me this memory bullshit. You're doing better than me. Yeah. So you went to Africa.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to? You didn't go to Jamaica though.
No. He wanted us to.
Yeah, you didn't go there.
We didn't go there.
But you went to Africa, and that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
It was beautiful.
You saw the falls, the Victoria Falls.
Yeah. Oh, and that was beautiful.
Yeah, and you saw some of the wildlife and the crazy monkeys and.
Elephants, unbelievable.
Wow, that's really cool.
The only thing that was kind of not really sad, but rough was coming back.
Yeah.
We stopped in London and were there for 15 hours waiting for our train back to the United States.
Oh, your plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plane, I said.
Yeah.
I said train.
The train, you'd still be waiting for that.
I better have one more zip.
Yeah, you better have another zip. Well, that's normal, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't tell you. I remember I slept in the Chicago airport on one of our Italy trips back. So that stuff just happens, unfortunately. So now that you look at your whole life, 85 years, what do you think? What are some of the? I know you journal, first of all. right? You write in your diary
every day.
Every day, right?
Every day, yeah.
And then you look back at the years and what you did and what you were doing. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, right now I've got 7 years.
7 years in your journal.
Yeah, I got them further back, all the way back, but I keep the 7 years current.
Oh, you keep that one moving.
Yeah, and I read all 7 years
of that day.
Yeah, every
gotcha.
day.
Gotcha. So, did you read today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's always so interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
To know that you did this for me, you did that for me. You took me here, you took me there. I've got it all documented.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now that reminds me of the time you and I don't know what prompted us to do this, but you and I decided to climb a 14,000-foot peak.
I've got that on there too.
In Colorado one year.
Yeah.
And we made it. You beat me to the top.
The 14.
Because at that time you were in really good shape.
Remember I used to run up Wolf Creek Pass.
Ah, you were crazy. I don't know how you did all that stuff.
And I used to run from our house in Durango all the way to the Boulder Road. Remember that went to Boulder?
Yeah.
Up there and back. That was just 20 miles.
Jeez. At what, 7,000-foot elevation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it.
Now you were in amazing shape. You're still in amazing shape for 85. I mean, you go to the gym every day, right?
Every morning.
Every morning you go.
5:30.
So what do you do? What's your workout?
I swim backwards like nobody else can. Your brother Jim tried to do it. He sunk him. Him and Trevor. And when I do it, I see people say, "How do you do that?" Because my feet are going this way, I'm moving that way.
Yeah.
But
what I'm learning in life is, if you just start something and keep doing it, that's the key.
That's what I'm doing.
It's just keep doing it and just keep doing it every day. You're gonna be able to kick butt on somebody at some point.
You know what else I do? I eat oatmeal 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Monday through Friday.
And then Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday I have bacon and eggs.
That's your splurge.
And I usually have waffles every day.
Yeah.
2 waffles after breakfast.
Okay, so my brother and I love to joke about you that you are the master of routine. Right?
That's it.
You were a drill sergeant in the Army, right? So you learned this stuff in the Army, I think.
And I was the company clerk.
You were the Radar O'Reilly, right?
I could type 70 words.
Yeah, you were Radar.
Yeah.
Remember MASH? Yeah, you were Radar.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So you are a master routine. You're one of those. You and I are the complete opposite when it comes to that.
I don't think we're the complete opposite.
You don't think so? I have some routine, but
you're nothing but routine.
No, I'm not. I'm always doing something different.
Yeah, but
there's routine to it.
That's exactly right. Because every day you're designing homes. You're doing this. You're doing that.
No, I've got my macro routine that I've got to follow. Otherwise, it'd be total chaos. So you're right. I think you are right. Actually, the more I think about that. But you've been doing your exercise routine really your whole life, right?
My whole life.
Your whole life, yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing I know you do a lot of mental stuff. You do Sudoku puzzles.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. And I do solitaire, play cards.
Yeah.
And do solitaire.
And now we got you on Facebook and Instagram. So you're liking that, right?
Yeah. Well, your mother teach me how to use it.
Yeah. So no, and I got you the phone.
You got me the phone.
Yeah. And you like the new phone, right?
I'm using it all the time.
You've been on the flip phone forever. We finally took that thing away from you and got you on a real frickin' phone. So but you like it, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I do like it, yeah.
So do you keep it? Some of your friends are on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Anthony's on it, too.
Is he? See?
Yeah.
You guys are all catching up.
I know it.
Yeah, that's good. So tell me about the next 15 years. What are you thinking about? I'm sure you think about life beyond this.
I'm going to do the best I can, live day by day.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
And that's all you can do. I mean, just make the most of this day.
Yeah.
See, and I think that lesson is the best lesson to learn whether you're 85 or you're 18.
You're right, Mark.
It's just today. I mean, look at Kobe Bryant. I mean, you don't know.
No, you don't know.
He's 41, top of the world.
Yeah.
Everything's going great, and boom,
it's gone.
It's gone. So, I mean, we're all. No one gets out of here alive, as they say, and we're all gonna face our maker at some point. And so, I know when I'm together with you, we try to have as much fun as we possibly can.
And we do.
we do. We always do.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I think I admire the life that you've given us. I mean, I think the tools you gave us to succeed were probably more than you even realize.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but you look at Jim and I.
Our sons are doing wonderful.
Yeah, we're both doing great, and it's because
yeah.
of what you and Mom taught us.
Well, your mom probably taught you a lot more than I did.
Yeah, well, you taught us.
Your mom is the lady, buddy. I'll guarantee you.
I know. Mom's the mom, boy. But I'll tell you, I think Mom taught us a lot verbally. Mom's a very verbal person.
Oh, I know that.
Which we all know. And you'll see that on the podcast. We're not going to have any trouble filling up an hour with Mom. But you taught us, I think you taught us by example. That's what I thought. You taught us by getting up every day, eating your oatmeal, doing your exercise, going to work, coming back, mowing the lawn, throwing the ball, fixing dinner. Then we'd go downstairs, we'd play ping pong or do homework.
That's right.
And that was our day.
That was it.
That was pretty much our day. And then in the weekends, we'd go fishing, or we'd go camping, or you'd go to the Bronco game, or we would do something every weekend. It's like every weekend we were doing something.
I know it. That's true.
I mean, I don't remember us just sitting around doing nothing ever. No. So I think you taught us more by action, which I think was awesome. So, another thing that I loved about our family was our family. I loved, the fact when we moved back to Durango, we had the Romeros, your sister and her family right across the street for a while. And then, Aunt Carrie and Uncle Chris just sadly passed away this last year.
That's really sad.
He was the chief of police in Durango.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm sure when I was 18 in Durango, he probably saved my butt more than times than I want to even think about, but we won't go into that story. It was great just to have all the family around and all the things that we would do as a family.
Yeah.
And I kind of worry about losing that as, this new generation. But
I know it.
We'll see how we do at the Super Bowl today. We got all the girls. They're at the King's Open now, but they're coming back. And we're going to make some pizzas. We're going to have a good time this afternoon. But I just love that part of my life.
I do too, Mark. You know that.
I know we do.
You know
and just
that.
our friends. That was the other thing is that I think you really instilled in me for sure is how many times you guys would have people over to your house to cook dinner or barbecue.
That's right.
There are people there all the time.
Yeah.
Or we'd go to a neighbor's house to do it. The Montoyas. We'd go over there and you guys would go hunting. Yeah. We'd have elk or fish if we come back from fishing and just have a bunch of fish and stuff like that was just so dang fun. And so I'm glad that I've been able to carry that aspect forward, and I'm hoping my kids pick up on that because I think it's awesome. So, well, I'm going to say that I've enjoyed having you as my father. I mean, it hasn't always been great.
Mark, let me tell you this too. You are the son, I'll guarantee you. You do so much for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, we are so proud of you.
I just have
guarantee
fun. No, I appreciate that, Dad.
Yeah.
No, it's been great. I'm really thankful that we've had the last 5 years here that you've been here together. Just the amount of time that it's hard to think what it would have been like had you stayed in Denver.
I know it.
It'd be awful.
I know it. Yeah.
So I think it's so great that we've had all the time that we've had these last 5 years, and I hope we have so much the next 15.
We will. I'll guarantee you.
I hope they're awesome.
We're getting closer every day, Mark.
I know.
Guarantee you.
We're closing in on it. That's ridiculous. I'm going to be 60. You're going to be 85. Mama's 80. It's crazy, isn't it?
I know it.
And Jim's going to be, 56?
56,
yeah. So it's just hard to think that we went from those days in North Glen to
my poor sister Virginia's going to be 88.
88.
And her days are numbered.
Well, all of us are.
I know it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yep. You guys are an amazing family. That's all I can say.
I know it. Yeah, you're right.
And when I look back at that, you look back at Grandma Rose and Grandpa Bernie and what they did and how hard it was for them.
Tell me about it.
You think about that in the Depression.
My poor dad had to build the upstairs in that poor little house that we had.
Yeah. He built it himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Because there were 6 kids. My brother and I used to have to run over the hill to go potty all the time.
Jeez. Yeah, you couldn't wait. Well, you had 4 sisters.
Yeah, 4 sisters.
Yeah, good luck.
They were always using the bathroom.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we had to run.
And then Jim and I used to play on that hill. I wonder what we were playing in.
I know it.
Oh, that's so funny. No, that's amazing. I mean, it's it's tough for me now to go back and drive by that house
I know it. Yeah.
and see kind of how it's been run down and not taken care of.
Yeah.
Because I have so many. We all have so many great memories there. Picking cherries out of the cherry trees in the backyard,
That's right,
and Grandma's garden. Remember her garden?
Yeah.
She had a great garden all the time. So just a lot of fun moments and fun times there. So, well, I appreciate you doing this podcast with me today. I think you did really well.
Mark, you're the man, my friend.
I told you this wouldn't be hard. You did great,
I
right?
actually enjoyed it.
I told you you'd enjoy it. Everyone says that when they do it.
Yeah, I know it.
It's great because we would never have this conversation. You would always get distracted, or I'd get distracted, what these podcasts do. What I'm finding is it forces you to have a focused conversation for 45 minutes.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, and you just would not. You wouldn't do it in a restaurant. You wouldn't do it if you're just sitting around at a ball game.
You can't.
You can't do it. You know, because you got to fill this 45 minutes.
And
how
this thing so close to your mouth.
And how are you going to do it? That's right. So I love it. I'm glad that you did it. And I know you and I just cannot wait to hear Mom's version of the story.
That's for sure. That's for damn sure.
That'll be the podcast. The podcast there.
There you go.
Well, I love you, man.
Love you too.
It was
Mark.
awesome. Great job. You did a good job. I'm glad to have this podcast forever and ever.
I know it. You bet.
All right. I love you.
Love you too, Mark.
I want to say a big thank you to my good friends at Stockett Tile and Granite Company, where your project is our priority. The Stockett team, along with so many others, are coming really close to the finish line on our demonstration kitchen and our new expansion of our Candelaria design offices. I've had the pleasure of working with the Stockett team for nearly 40 years on some amazing projects, and trust me, they are the epitome of excellence when it comes to tile, marble, and granite work, bar none. Their skill and customer service is impeccable, and the bottom line is they are just good people. I have traveled with, dined with, and just had good times both personally and professionally with Dave Stockett and his lovely wife, Becky, and they are the best. When it comes to your next kitchen, make sure Stockett Tile and Granite is part of you. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. We encourage you to write a review, screenshot it, and share it with your friends. Please instant message it to me and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing more insights to inspiring living next week.